John Fetterman, for his part, the senator from Pennsylvania, who, despite many of his heterodox positions with his party, is still a progressive. He tweeted out, "There's no job I'm afraid to lose that requires me to degrade anyone. If that's a defining issue for a voter, there will be a different candidate. We have a bathroom in my office that anyone is welcome to use, including Representative-elect Sarah McBride." Well, I'm glad that you want Sarah McBride to use your bathroom. That's your choice. Congratulations, Senator. Also, you don't get to decide whether women ought to have men in the bathroom. And here is Speaker Johnson being asked about enforcing the policy.
Can you talk about the policy that you bathroom?
Yeah, I'm not sure what more there is to say.
Is it enforceable?
Yeah, like all house policies, it's enforceable, but we have single-sex facilities for a reason, and women deserve women's-only spaces, and we're not anti-anyone. We're pro-woman, and I think it's an important policy for us to continue. It's always been I guess an unwritten policy, but now it's in writing. So.
Yeah, again, this is very baseline sort of stuff. So why does that matter? Because if you're looking for a reason Democrats lost, it is the cultural disconnect that the people on the coast and in the Democratic elite have with the rest of America. These are non-controversial propositions that are made controversial by the Democratic Party. That is what is happening here. And these are belief systems that are held so deeply within the Democratic elite that even the most elite people in the Democratic Party, people who face no discrimination in America, are now treating the election of Donald Trump and the restoration of some form of normality as a grave threat to them. So, for example, Ellen DeGeneres and wife Portia de Rossi have now moved to rural England, putting their Montecito estate on the market. They plan to never return to the United States, telling friends the election of Donald Trump was their primary motivation. Now, DeGeneres, of course, has been kicked out of show business after she was reported for toxic workplace behavior at the syndicated Ellen show in 2022. She'd already moved to a rural area in south central England, and she added that her Montecito mansion, roughly 90 minutes north of LA, has been pocket listed or will be listed soon. Now, is Ellen DeGeneres some sort of victim in American society? Is Portia de Rossi a victim in America? And the answer, of course, is no. But the threat of a Donald Trump presidency is so grave they had to run away. Why? Is it because they're going to be oppressed in the state of California? Is that the real issue? Or is the issue that when a level of cultural supremacy by the left declines, people on the left can't stand it, they can't handle it? And it's that cultural supremacy. It's that implementation of a value system so different from traditional Americanism that has gotten everybody's goat. And this election was a backlash to it. And Democrats cannot abandon it. It's a massive problem for them because their entire party is now built around the idea that Americans are inherently racist, sexist, bigot, homophobes. And that they can keep saying that over and over and over and still win elections. And the only reason they would lose elections, as we said at the top of the show, is if the economy is bad or if people just have a general sense of malaise. But otherwise, people love this set of values. Here's the thing. People don't like this set of values. They find this set of values off-putting. They find this set of values ugly and wrong. And it's not just with regard to things like, can a man be a woman? It's with regard to racial questions in the United States. What most Americans want in the United States is to be treated as normal individuals without regard for race. Now, during this election cycle, I visited a wide variety of places in the United States. I went all the way up to the tip of northern Ohio with Senator Bernie Moreno, Senator-elect Bernie Moreno. And I also went all the way down to the southern border with Senator Ted Cruz in the Rio Grande Valley. The area we visited in the Rio Grande Valley, 97% Hispanic, went red for the first time since, I believe, 1880. And the area of northern Ohio, totally white. And I gave the same speech in both places, and it was received the same way because it was all about American opportunity, being able to build a family, being able to go to church, being able to retain the property that you earn, and then build on that for generational wealth. Right? These are the things that Americans want. You know what they don't want? They don't want to be divided by race. They don't want to be treated as members of an oppressed or oppressive hierarchy. That is not something Americans are interested in, but the Democratic Party cannot let go of this. They cannot. The fact is, and this is important, our nation is broke. That debt is a house of cards that simply cannot be quickly dismantled. For as long as the economy sits on top of that house of cards, the strategy remains the same. You need to diversify your savings. That's exactly why I buy gold from Birch Gold. Look, there are so many things out there that are completely out of our control. That's precisely why you want a safe haven for your savings. Birch Gold Group, my gold company, will help you convert an IRA or 401k into an IRA in physical gold. Here's the best part. It doesn't cost you a penny out of pocket. Remember, it only takes the removal of one card for this whole house of cards to fall, so protect your savings with gold. Text PEN to 989898. Get your free information kit. Right now, through Black Friday, you'll receive a free 1-ounce Silver Eagle for every $5,000 purchased. As the exclusive gold partner of the Daily Wire for the past 8 years, you can trust Birch Gold the way I do to help you protect your savings. Text PEN to 989898 today, and then ask all of your questions. Get all of them answered, and then think about diversifying with my friends over at Birch Gold. Again, text BEN to 989898 today to get started. The latest example of this, Representative Jasmine Crockett, who's a representative from Texas. Well, yesterday in the House, she went on a wild rant on the basis of race. And the Democratic Party is having a tough time separating off from this stuff because they've been doing identity politics for too long.
It's because you can then misuse words like oppression. There has been no oppression for the white man in this country. You tell me which white men were dragged out of their homes. You tell me which one of them got dragged all the way across an ocean and told that you are going to go and work. We are going to steal your wives. We are going to rape your wives. That didn't happen. That is oppression. We didn't ask to be here. We're not the same migrants that y'all constantly come up against. We didn't run away from home. We were stolen. So yeah, we are going to sit here and be offended when you want to sit here and act like, and don't let it escape you that it is white men on this side of the aisle telling us, people of color on this side of the aisle, that y'all are the ones being oppressed, that y'all are the ones that are being harmed.
Okay, this is so insane. It's patently insane. Okay, the sympathy apparently is for the position that if you are a member of a specific historically discriminated against race, you are inherently a victim in the United States forever, for like the rest of time. Now, of course, this only applies to particular racial groups. This, as we know, does not apply to Jews who have been historically victimized and are currently victimized at the highest rate in terms of hate crimes, according to the FBI. They don't count. It doesn't apply to Asian Americans who have been too wildly successful. Increasingly, it does not apply to Hispanic Americans who are moving toward the Republican Party. Okay, but the basic idea here is that there's an intersectional hierarchy, and no one who's white can complain about being victimized, even if they can point to an actual government policy that victimizes white people, like, for example, affirmative action, which does, in fact, victimize people who are not of particular races. That is what it is designed to do. Affirmative action is designed as a racial quota system. It's in a zero-sum game where merit is ignored in favor of race. That is, of course, going to victimize the person who is not counted as part of the beneficiary race. That is just the nature of the game. Okay, but in any case, that particular attitude, which is you are a victim because in 1619, your great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather was shipped over from Africa, is patently crazy. Okay, it's nuts. Again, that is not ignoring American history. That is recognizing the reality of world history, in which if you go back far enough, pretty much everyone's great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather was victimized in some way or another. I mean, Jasmine Crockett is a beneficiary of this country. The utter ingratitude, the argument that she's using here is the same argument that you get from a kid when they've been caught with their hand in the cookie jar. And you say, well, why are you doing that? Why like, don't do that. They say, well, I didn't ask to be born. I mean, you didn't ask to be born. What does that have to do with the price of tea in China? That has nothing to do with anything. No one asked to be born, as a matter of fact. We are all recipients of our family's history. We are all here through no choice of our own. That doesn't change the responsibility to be a decent human being. It does not change how we ought to argue about political issues, public policy issues. I mean, Jasmine Crockett went to an all-girls Catholic high school in St. Louis, went to Rhodes College, and got a Bachelor of Arts in Business Administration. And then she went on to attend the University of Houston Law School. And then she became a public defender for Bowie County. And then she became a congressperson. So does that sound like a highly victimized life to you? Does that sound like a person who was dragged over in chains? Again, if you believe that America has not progressed in any way, that America is still the same America, that you are just as victimized as, again, your ancestors, that does beg the question as to why you don't leave. If you are that victimized by the United States of America, not historically, because again, you go back in history and tons of people have been victimized. And of course, history has consequences. But that is not the argument that she is making. The argument she's making is that no one who is not of a particularly victimized race can ever claim victimization in today's day and age, like today, because years, centuries ago, something bad happened to my ancestors. That's a crazy argument. But that argument has truck on the left. You wonder why the backlash is here? This is why the backlash is here. Are you tired of the lies and the twists of the mainstream media talking points? Yeah, me too. Join me in my newest series, Fact, where I dismantle and bring truth to this tiring mainstream agenda.